in a culture of you got to score 30 to win and all of that. Your defense, this is what you got them here for. Let them hunt. Let them hunt. Let them get to the quarterback. Because Jalen Hurts going to make you pay for it. And then they have an excellent kicker. I mean, Philadelphia's kicker might be, I mean, we know Justin Tucker with the Baltimore Ravens. We all know he's the best. But Jake Elliott is very good. Very good. So just get them out. Don't even let them get to field goal range. Get them up off the field. Period. That's all. I want to go back to the last. I saw a lot of Eagles fans. We were even talking about it in the press room that were upset with the decision. They thought the Eagles scored too fast. And here's the reality. They did that because Sam Howell wasn't a threat. They were like, they're not getting down the field. But they did because I've told you all this before. And Sam Howell actually told y'all this before too. And that is they practice 2-minute drills all the time in practice. If they're going to get something off, it's going to be that 2-minute drill. Shout out to David Aldridge, because you want to know what happened? We were sitting there, we were watching the game, and David Aldridge said they're going to score. And we were like, oh my gosh. And then I went through my whole little, I can't watch this. Now they're taking me out of my zone. I was in my zone, and now they're taking me out. David Aldridge said, this is what they're going to do. And we all sat there and watched it. Why? Because we watched them do it in practice. They executed to perfection almost. Now, they did end up getting that holding penalty, which helped them get down the field. Let's be for real about it. They got that holding penalty and helped them get down the field. It really did. We're talking about why we're still in regulation. That's what happened. Even still, good enough, great. I'm going to go really quick and go back to the conversation about Jahan Dotson, because I've shared with you all the intensity of Jahan Dotson, and Jahan made some mistakes. Jahan's made a couple of mistakes, and he shared it. And we're gonna go ahead and go to Jahan's presser, because love button fire emoji. Did you all watch Jahan's presser? And if you did you really pay attention to what he said? Because I say, if you all are paying attention to these press conferences, and if you're watching this show, you're getting a lot of intel about what they're doing and what's going on. Let me just go ahead and jump to Jahan Dotson's press conference. It's about 4 or so minutes long. Let's see if you all are going to catch it and see if you got exactly what he was dropping.
We had a play call. Basically, everyone get in the end zone, and kind of run curl routes, and we had one-on-one coverage. It was the last play of the game. We knew that, and Sam just gave me a chance, and I was able to create a little bit of separation and make a play.
And what was the mood in the huddle right at the start of the 2-minute drive? What allowed you guys to be such a down?
Yeah, I mean, we practice 2-minute situation every single week. We were doing it almost every day in training camp, so we were more than prepared for the situation. It was just going out there, executing, making sure we get everything possible that we were looking for, and making the most of our looks.
What do you take away from a game like this? When the offense is rolling, but still came up short as a team. What do you take away from it?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is making the most of the opportunities when they're present in front of you. I like to talk about myself. I had a chance to convert on a third down, and I dropped a pass, and that's a chance right there. That's a chance for you to move the chains. That's a chance for you to keep your offense out on the field. That's a chance for your defense to get a little bit more rest. You got 3 more downs going at it. So I take full responsibility for that. But, we had a chance. We got the ball first in OT. And we had a chance to go down and score and put the game away. But that's the biggest thing for me. Is just making the most of the opportunities when they're present in front of you, because sometimes they don't come back. Going back to that drop, I had a drop, and the next play I got targeted was the last play of regulation. So you don't know if you're going to get the opportunities back, so you got to make the most of them when they come to you.
Ron was saying, sometimes the details, the littlest details can make a big difference. Do you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, 100%. And that's why football is the ultimate team game. You can have 10 guys doing the right thing and one guy not, and play goes completely wrong. So it's all about the little details, all about staying together. That was the message we sent to the team before the game. Just staying together no matter what, having your teammates back, making sure we push through as a group. So that was the biggest thing. Little details we got to clean up, obviously, because when you play good teams, the win margin is very small. So or the margin of error is very small. So you got to make the most of your opportunities when you get them.
Mark,
I know all losses sting, but this one had a special sting just because it's on the road and playing against the best team in the division, dominating the division, and you have a real chance to beat.
Yeah, for sure. All losses sting, but yeah, I would say this one stings a little bit more, just because that I keep going back to the opportunities that you had in the game, and when they were, and we just didn't capitalize on some of them, and that goes back to little details, little detail things, making sure that you're doing. You're giving your maximum effort on every single play that you're out there, and you making sure that you're doing your job, so that the guy next to you can count on you doing that. So I feel like it was little details things, and it's such a small margin of error, and he's lost.
So, couple things. Love button fire emoji. I'm gonna tell you why. I told y'all they practice those 2-minute drills like every day. I told y'all this. I said that. I said, hey, listen, they're gonna be really good at that. Coach B Enemy beat. And what did I also say? Coach B Enemy puts them in real life game situations. You all saw that come to life. And I'm going to make sure I share those things with you all and tag your Washington Commanders loving family and friends. They're like, hey, CWall, Bowie Television, they're there and they're paying attention and they're telling us what's going on and they're telling us what's happening. I also wanted to mention this. I looked over and give Donna Hopkins a high five and a shout out because I looked over at Donna with that drop that Jahan is mentioning. I looked over at Donna and I said, Jahan is struggling. And he's been struggling a little bit. Don't know what's going on. I said, but we might not see him for the rest of the day. And as he said in the presser, he didn't get targeted again until what? The game tying, excuse me, I almost said game winning, because that would have been nice as well. Game tying situation. You want to know why? I believe that happens. Now, I don't know for a fact because I haven't talked to Coach Bieniemy about this. But in that situation, he believes in Jahan. He believes in every single last one of those guys. Melvin Roberts, I saw you talk about Antonio Gibson. Guess what? Coach Bieniemy believes in him too because every time he gets the football now, I stop breathing. But he believes in these guys. He believes in them. He makes them believe in himself. And I even posted that yesterday. I said, I really appreciate how Coach Bieniemy really believes in these guys. He's gonna believe in you. But what did Jahan tell in his own presser? After that drop, I didn't get targeted again until that last play. Why? Because now I can't trust you. However, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to tie this thing up. What did he say? It was everybody getting in the end zone. Let them loose. Somebody gonna catch it. Because they can't catch all of y'all because you're too fast. And that's what happened. That is what happened. Something that I've been sharing that they practice all the time. And what did Jahan tell you? We practice it every day in training camp. And who was there every day in training camp with him? Me. So listen, as well as others. But CWall, who you all come for your information, was there too. And I told you. Coach Bieniemy is really serious about his craft. And I'm going to tell you something else that he's serious about. He's serious about taking accountability when the team does not perform well. I shared this with you all last week. And I thought it was important to share that message with you all from him of what he shared in his press conference, that he says we got to be accountable to the players. If they don't perform well, that's on us. I think he took his role very seriously this week, and the team responded accordingly. Now, I want to get to some questions that Lamar Bland sent over really quick because I think it's important. First question, Ron admitted that Forbes needs to be better at playing the technique that they're coaching, and we saw A.J. Brown prove why he was a bad matchup for Emmanuel. What do you make of Jack's decision to sell out against the run and entrust his young corner to battle outside with an all-pro wide receiver? This goes back to almost being stubborn, and just wanting to be right. He's got a lot of trust in Emmanuel. I shared that with you all. I said, hey, we watched this in practice. I see who he covering in practice. And let me tell you something. If he's expecting Emmanuel to cover wide receiver 1 and tight end 1 on these teams that they playing this season, that is very, very interesting. That is very interesting. And he's got a lot of faith in his kid coming out the gate. Whoa. So that's the only reason. That's really what I think it was. He was like, keep him in there. Fight through it. He gonna live or he gonna learn. And that's what happened. That is truly what I think is just what happened. He was sticking with his kid. He was sticking with his first round draft pick. And because that's who he wants him to be. You might not have got him this time, but one day you will. That is seriously the only logic. I don't think it had scheme or anything to do about it other than I'm going with my guy. For real. That's all I think it is. After the game on Sunday, again from Lamar Bland, after the game Sunday, Ron took to the podium and came across more visibly irritated and incoherent as usual. What or whom do you think was the source? What or whom do you think the source was? They lost. That is very simple. Going back to Jack, he was sticking with his first round pick. Ron, visibly irritated, and they lost. That's why. And he said this in his presser as well. And I had that to pull up, but we can talk more to it. He said this as well, which was they're better than that. I'm going to sit up here and tell you, I'm still waiting for the team that I've been watching in practice since May to show up. That's what I'm waiting for. I said I saw it one time, and it was only for a half, and that was against the Broncos. I still haven't seen the team because I'm going to go back and use Jahan as an example. Jahan still isn't all that I know and have seen him be in practices. And he knows that. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody does that. I'm not talking about perfection. Let me be very clear. But what I am saying is I still haven't seen the collective team be who I watch in practice. You know what I mean? That's it, and that's all. They're still not there. And they can be. The team that I have watched in practice could have absolutely beat that Eagles team yesterday. No doubt. But I still didn't have it as a W on my schedule because you have not given me enough credibility on game day to make me believe that from a schematic and play perspective, you were going to outsmart and outplay the Philadelphia Eagles in their house. You haven't shown me that yet on a game day. And until you show me that on a game day, I'm not putting my chips in on you. I know you're totally capable of being that team. You absolutely should be that team. as created right now. Seriously, and I'm going back to this, but they haven't shown that yet in a full game yet this season. It's got to all come together. And I know it's hard. That's with any team. It's with any team. But again, you heard what I said. Schematically and player-wise. Because this is two facets to this. The coaches come up with the scheme. The coaches come up with the matchups. I'm not seeing enough of some of these players winning their one-on-one matchups. So what's happening there? Are you not sure who they playing on Sunday? Because that should be a little bit more. That's a planning and preparation thing right there. Until you come together that way, I'm not putting all my chips on you. I'm just not. I want to because I know what I see. I've probably shared more stories with you all now that I don't know who I'm watching. That opening drive yesterday was the first time I said, I know those people right there. I know them. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm talking about on an opening drive. But see, game day is different though. And I learned that, and we talked about that on the show. It's different because it's a different team. Game day action ain't like when you're playing against your teammates is definitely not the same as playing against somebody else. It's just not. The only person who probably rolls like that is Nick Gates. He don't care who he playing against. You might get slapped. Seriously, he's probably the only one that's like that. But everybody else is not like that. They're not, because you're not tackling. You can't tackle. It's not the same. I'm getting passionate about this topic because it's important. It's an important thing, and you want to see it come together. Now, let me be very clear about something else. I don't think it's a gloom and doom situation. Love button, fire emoji, if you still think this team has a lot of upside. If they can make it all work, it'll be a very good team. Very good team. Third question from Lamar Bland. For a player who a lot of fans have seemingly written off, Curtis Samuel has played extremely well when given the opportunity to make plays. Is it possible he could have a bigger role in this offense, given his versatility and yards after catch? Here's the thing. And I shared this earlier. He was one of my favorite people yesterday. I said, you know what? I'm so happy. Give Curtis Samuel his flowers, everybody. Give it to him. Because there was a lot of people that get him out of here. He weak. He can't do this. He can't do that. Oh, no. Okay? No, we don't let Curtis just walk. I think the thing about it is, and I want to explain this to everybody. Hear me out. Somebody's going to get the short end of the yardage stick in some of these games because you just don't have, it's just not enough snaps and enough things to go around. Sometimes you just got to do it based on what works, one-on-one matchups, based on what schemes that they're doing. Sometimes you just got to play smart. Sometimes it makes sense to feed Curtis. I saw them feed Byron Pringle a couple times yesterday. Sometimes it just makes sense. And then there's going to be instances where you got to drop like Jahan had, and they're going to be like, and then we're going to use you to get us tied up and take this bad boy into overtime. You're not going to be able to guess. Eric Bieniemy ain't that kind of offensive coordinator. You're not going to always know who gets the football because let's go back to this tight end position. You saw Logan Thomas a lot. You didn't see Cole Turner a lot. Why? Because now people are planning for Cole. They weren't planning for Logan because Logan was still supposed to be out with a concussion, but he was cleared. So we're going to use who we think is going to be the best matchup for that game. You're not going to be able to call it with Eric Bieniemy. You saw what happened. Chris Rodriguez Jr. was out. They had Derek Gore be active, and guess what? Derek Gore came up major for a couple of key blocks to get B-Rob down the field. It's not going to be that same thing where you think you're going to know what's going to happen. Not with Eric Bieniemy. Because I'm going to tell you like this, and I make the joke all the time, when you going to let them all loose? And they did to get the game tied up, And so exactly what, and we've definitely, and we talked about this earlier. Lamar, you might be coming up to the live late. I already said 35 points week 2, 31 points Okay. Week 4, if the defense now, if they can at the same time have this tandem where they meet together and have this be what they can be on all sides of the football, you can see something really special. And DJ Blank, he be scheming up some good stuff. If you paying attention, and don't think anybody's getting slighted now. Like Jahan went ahead and told on himself, hey, I didn't get the ball back after that drop. I ain't get it back. I wasn't targeted anymore. Yep. Because now I got to trust somebody else. And it's enough weaponry to go around. Yes, I said weaponry. Is it a real word? I don't know. Somebody look it up. But listen, it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. It's a good thing. No moral victories. They lost. And so if you seeing an agitated Ron Rivera, listen, let's also go back to that real quick. All of the sad faces I saw, let's be real clear. Everybody understands something. You're dealing with an ownership group that is preaching winning championships. They're not talking about winning games around there, y'all. They're talking about winning championships. They're talking about winning Super Bowls. They're not talking about winning division titles. That's not the message. The message is winning championships. You want to know how I know? Because I've heard it with my own ears. What the message is. So, that's why people walk around there sad. That's why ain't nobody think about no moral victories. Huh? What? This is the division game. Should have beat them. You better than them. Well, so you say, but if it don't show up on the alphabet, in the words of Coach Bieniemy, we got a problem. And it didn't show up in the alphabet. You got an L, not a W. So if you think you that much better, when you see them in a few weeks, prove it. Get the W and not another L. And I think that's what people need to see. When you see this frustration, when you see Coach Rivera agitated, irritated, yeah, because they lost. It's really that simple. There's no conspiracy theories going on, guys. Is none of that going on. They were all upset. And they should be. I'm going to keep saying this because I want it to be very clear. Would you buy a product for $6 billion to watch it lose? Would you buy a product for $6.05 billion to watch it lose? And for the sake of moral victories? No, you would not. That is what you're seeing. And that's all you're seeing. It's no conspiracy theories. They're going to use all of their weapons on offense anyway. Jack just need to tell them go get it. Go get the football. Go get to the quarterback. Whoever got the football, get it out of their hands. I want to go back to that real quick too with defense. And then we're going to shut this down. We've almost talked about this because listen, there won't be a show Thursday night, obviously. I may do a pregame. I don't know if somebody need me to do a pregame. I probably do that if I hear from anybody. I may jump on for that. Yes, Chicago is in shambles. Chicago Bears. But listen, I don't necessarily believe in trap games, but if ever I did, this would be considered a trap game. And the reason why it is because you don't mess with people when they're desperate. And here's the reality. The Commanders are desperate also because they won 2 games. They're 2-2. They're at 500 right now, but they are desperate. So if ever they wanted to prove, again, people y'all not thinking I'm playing. People not looking at all the numbers. Even Coach Bieniemy said that. He's not paying attention to all those stats. He's not paying attention to all those numbers. W. This league, all league wins and losses. That's it. That's all. The Bears don't have any wins. And they got all types of turmoil and chaos going on right now. But guess what? Those are the teams you need to look out for. Those are the teams you better watch your back, because they're the ones who will roll up on you, because they'll feel like we ain't got nothing to lose. Because if they go 0-5, it's a whole list of people that's probably getting fired. So you got to have your eyes wide open going up into this one. You got to let them know you're still gonna be losing. You're still gonna be winless leaving up out of FedEx. Because I do think if it doesn't go that way, now we're gonna have to hold a minute. Now we got to check on people's morale. Because wait a minute, hold on, wait a second. The Bears come out of there unscathed, and we got some other issues that we're gonna have to discuss next week when we do this show. It's gonna be some other issues going on. All right. Because ain't nobody dealing with that. They need to still be winless. Everybody's got a point to prove. And the Bears have more of a point to prove than the Commanders do. Don't sleep on that game. It could go either way. But the Commanders need to say, all right, we ain't got nothing to do with y'all not winning no game. You're a professional football team, but we're gonna take all this frustration out on y'all. And then you got a team on the other side of the scrimmage line that people, the coaches, those people, they fighting for their football jobs on Thursday night. For real. So you definitely can't say, oh, this. It's a must win, but you can't say, oh, they got that in the bag. Because people they come up with all kinds of things and all kinds of tricks and schemes and everything when their back is against the wall and they're facing a Chicago Bears team that is absolutely desperate and their backs are for sure against the wall. You all stuck it out with me for an hour talking about the Commanders, y'all. Can you believe it? You stuck it out for a whole hour talking to me about this. And I appreciate you all tuning in as you do each and every single week. Again, this is from the Coaching from the Couch series. This is the Washington Commanders update. And you can, even if you don't catch the live, you can always check it out later. So feel free to take that link and share it with your Washington Commanders loving family and friends. Tag them in the comments and say, hey, you need to check this out. Because Bowie Television and CWall, they got the insight and they know what's happening with these Washington Commanders. You all enjoy the rest of your week. Don't forget, no live on Thursday because I will be at Thursday Night Football. But make sure you all are tuned in because we'll definitely have all of the news and scoop from after that game as well. Talk to you guys again soon.